something outside because I asked them to bring it over. We're going to look at a washer and dryer. This is a Samsung, and apparently it doesn't work. That's what I'm told. Well, of course, otherwise why would it be to me? But, so there's the washer. Follow me. And the customer has already started tearing apart the dryer. Apparently there's no heat on that. So we'll figure out what's going on with that. But we're going to start with the washer. So let's go back out here. And I'll show you the first thing that I found out, which is probably causing the problem for the washer. Look at that. This is totally packed with garbage. And the hot is clean. So that'll cause you some issues right there. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to clean this out. If we can get that out of there in one piece. Yeah, I'm digging at it with my fingernail and it's just caked in there really bad. This is probably the reason why it doesn't work, because it's not being able to get the cold water, depending on what cycle you use, I guess. Sorry we're outside doing this and it's noisy. I live on a busy road. That thing is in there. Blowing out the garbage that's in there. It's all like sawdust. Where it came through in the water line, I have no idea. Seem able to get it pretty clean without taking that out. But yeah, definitely check these to make sure they're clean. A little bit more, and I can't pull it. Oh, there it comes. There we go. Sorry, it's hot out here and I'm sweating. So that's the filter. And there's another one inside farther. And that one looks clean. So we won't have to worry about that. Alright, this one's, I think, cleaned off good enough to where we can stick it back in there and try it. And I'm going to hook the hoses up that we have right here, the hot and the cold. And we will run it and see if it goes through all the cycles. So give me a second and I'll hook these up. Alright, so we got our hot and cold hooked up. And of course I'm cheating because I'm outside. This is the garden hose. And I just have a splitter on there to give them both water. So as long as we don't use anything that senses the temperature, we'll be okay. Hopefully it'll work without that. And we're gonna just let the water run out onto the ground. All right, I have no clue how to use this, but I'm gonna start it. And it says, I guess 59 minutes to wash. It was already in the middle of a cycle from what I was told, so apparently it has to finish the cycle, but it wouldn't finish the cycle, and it also locked clothes in there, and they had to get the clothes out of there. But they were able to pull the door open to get the clothes out. So let's hit start and see what it does. Oh, my bad. Hold on. I forgot to turn the water on. I'll be right back. Okay, there's one brain fart. All right, let's try it now. Well, it sounded like the door locked. Got the normal blinking over here. I can hear something, but I don't know if it's draining or what. Of course, no water is going to come out of it, but I hit start, but I don't know what it's doing, like I said, at this time. It doesn't let me push any buttons to highlight them, but it is making noise. You can hear that. Besides the cars coming by. It looks like the wash is blinking, but it's hard to see. Yeah, there you go. You can see the wash light is blinking. I don't see a cancel button on here though. And the manual for this is not good at all. That stopped it and unlocked it. Let's see if this basket moves. Yep. That moves. Now it's not making any noise. The wash. Oh, there it goes. Something. It locked the door and it started making the noise again, so I wonder if it's just draining. Even though the wash is blinking. I know nothing about this wash machine, so we're learning together. This is where you put in the stuff. Tell you what, I'm gonna sit here, watch this, and see what goes on, and then as soon as it starts doing something, I'll let you know. Alright, it hasn't been doing anything. It's been draining, but that's all it's been doing. I did find a couple things. Well, first one, I was gonna take a look at the filter, but I'm having a hard time getting it out. But this line right here, this is usually stuck right up there. If you take this off, you'll see I drained some water out. This drains the water out of the filter compartment. And then we should be able to take that out, but it's being stubborn. A lot of water in there. I didn't think there'd be that much. Still coming out pretty good. I'll let that drain while I try to open this, but you're supposed to just turn it to the left like any other thing. But all it does is click and doesn't come out. Get over there. So I'm gonna set the phone down for a minute and I'm gonna tap it. A little area. This little thing right here. And see if I can get it to unscrew. Oh, it moved a little bit. So there it goes. That's all it needed. All right. Just a little help with the screwdriver. That's still draining. There'll probably more come out now when I take this out. Oh, gross. Look at how disgusting that is. That filter is totally jammed. That's disgusting, and it stinks like you know what. Holy smokes. Yeah, that's probably another error message that was coming up why the washing machine wasn't working. But let me show you what I found in the back when I took the back panel off. I took 2 screws out, one right here and one right here, and I put them back in there, but just so I wouldn't lose them. But look at this. There's a shock broke. This part right here is supposed to go over that shaft right there. So the whole washing machine is leaning back. Like this one over here, you can see the shock is inside there, and that's the way the other one's supposed to be. So we got to get that in there before we can do too much, and I'm probably going to need some help, so I'll have to call somebody over to help me do that real quick. But you can see that looking straight up and down, the washing machine is leaning back. It probably should go up more once it's in there. So there's 2 problems that I've noticed so far for the reason why it might not be working properly. Well, 3 altogether. The filter, that gross nasty filter, and the shock. So I'm going to see if I can get somebody to come over and help me with the shock to get that put in there, and I'll try to look in the front because there's 2 more in the front and see if those are in there properly. Just for shits and giggles, I'm going to leave that filter out and turn this thing on and see if it does anything. And it'll probably shoot water out there if any's going to come. A little bit drained. Not much. There's the lock again. And it sounds like the same thing, but I was able to, it only took me a couple seconds, but I was able to get that shock put back in there. You can see that. I just lifted up on this real hard, put those 2 at an angle. Oh look, it's starting to turn. And I was able to stick those 2 in each other, and it worked out pretty good. And now the whole thing, you can move it around. So that's spinning on its own now. I don't know, it must be trying to finish out the cycle. Yeah, it's got some weird thing going on with the display there. So that must mean it's, there's the water. See the water coming in. You can see more water pouring out there. That's pretty disgusting. I gotta clean that filter yet. But yeah, look at all that nasty stuff coming out of there. Holy smokes. Glad we're outside. Man, that smells like raw sewage. Look at that now. That smells like sewage. So this thing says it has 57 minutes on the cycle. You can pause the cycle, but I don't know if you can stop it. That just goes to show you how much I know about these kind of washers. Yeah, the water cleared up, but it still needs to be cleaned in there with a brush or something. It's pretty disgusting. And it's starting to spin again. So I'm gonna let this do its thing for this 56 minutes, and maybe it'll help clean it out a little bit. And we'll see what happens when it gets towards the end. I'll try to catch it right when it gets to the end or something. So yeah, you see what's going on right now. I'm just gonna leave that open instead of having it blow out the back hose, because all that water should be coming out this hose right here, because that's what that pump is connected to. But since we have the front open, it's all gonna come out the front. I had to stop for a second because I thought about what I was doing, and I realized that we can't let this go without this filter in there, because the water will never fill up the tank. Brain fart number 2. This is all the garbage that come out of there. I cleaned it, you can see. Got some stickers or something, some tape, or just some really gross hair and stuff. I got that piece back up in there, that locks in there. And now I'm just gonna screw this back in here. All right, I guess you're supposed to clean that about every 2 months. So now since that's in there, the tank will fill up. So I didn't run it that long before I had that brain fart, but there's still 55 minutes left, so we'll start it back up again. Locks the door, and the water starts going. So now it'll fill up with the water instead of draining all out that front. So, all right. Just trying to rinse down the stuff in here where we found all the stuff, put the soap and stuff. All right, I'm gonna let this run for a little bit, so we'll see you back in a few. It's only been like 10 minutes, but it's still doing its thing quietly. Ain't much water in there, but this thing does have a temperature sensor in it, a weight sensor, so it knows how much weight it is to add, how much water for that, and blah blah blah. And I'm also seen that to stop this, all you do is press the power button. So off, and it stopped. So I'm assuming when we turn it back on, it should be starting from new. So let's turn it back on, and it starts out at 59 again. And it determines the cycle, like I said, with the weight of the clothes in there and stuff. So I wonder if there's no way to make it drain though. 10-minute spin. Start. Now it's draining it. Yeah, you could see the water was coming out in the back. So, and it's disappearing on the inside, and it's getting ready to spin. We'll see if we hear any clunks. It's still draining. There, it stopped. Draining again, it sounds like, and there goes the spin. right here, you can see the gap. The only reason I can see that is because the part that holds this basket back here, it's like a triangle that goes out. All these spots right here, that part in the back of it is broke or bent. Fun. This is like watching paint dry, ain't it? But without letting it go all the way through one of the cycles, which I think it will, and I'll do that on my own time, but I think it's going to work just fine. There was a couple problems I found that would make your this says Samsung. It's missing part of the M. It got ripped off. So this is some of the problems I guess you can find wrong with your washer. Keep that filter clean every 2 months or so, because that was disgusting. We had this one plugged up with a bunch of debris in the filter, so now water can get in there. And we had a shock that fell out, which now you can see is working pretty good. No problems. Spinning away. So I'm going to call this one a done deal, and then we'll get on to the dryer and see what's wrong with that one. Alright, we'll show that one in another video, and we'll end this one right here, I guess. Alright, until next time.